Imagine yourself deep in the night, scrolling through social media feeds on your phone. On screen, countless similar faces tell similar jokes, chasing similar definitions of success. They share meticulously curated lives, displaying universally accepted values. You watch, unconsciously mimicking their postures, their tones, even their thoughts. Perhaps you feel a sense of belonging, a sense of security, as if by blending into this vast digital current, you won't be cast aside by the tides of the era. Your clothes, your conversation, your career choices, even your definition of happiness seem like mirrors reflecting the surrounding voices. Yet, amidst this seemingly harmonious chorus, have you ever caught a dissonant tremor? A faint but stubborn question from deep within you. Is this truly me?
Is the role I play, the ideal I pursue, truly the original desire of my own soul, or merely the superposition of countless others' echoes? Have you ever felt that after countless nods of agreement, countless times of going with the flow, the truly vibrant, unique, wild you is gradually being flattened, disciplined, silenced? You fear being different, fear being rejected, fear stepping into the spotlight to reveal your truest, perhaps somewhat unorthodox self. So, you chose safety, chose imitation, chose to become a perfect echo. But an echo, no matter how clear, how resonant, is ultimately not the source. You think you are integrating into the world, but in reality, are you losing yourself? Is this embellished comfort and acceptance not the most insidious, most powerful trap, imprisoning your most precious life force? Are you truly living as yourself, or are you merely an echo of others?
Now let us deeply analyze the profound mechanisms of becoming an echo, revealing its psychological and philosophical roots. The reason you choose to imitate is not because you are born lacking a self, but because humans, as social animals, have evolved a powerful instinct for conformity. Your brain, for survival and adaptation, instinctively tends towards pattern recognition and maximizing efficiency. When the outside world provides ready-made behavioral templates and thought paradigms, your neural pathways prioritize these shortcuts to avoid the significant energy expenditure and potential social risks of independent thought. These cognitive biases, such as the bandwagon effect and social conformity bias, are skillfully exploited by social structures. You see others succeed and assume imitating their path is the best way to success. You see the majority believe a certain view and internalize it as truth. This is not cowardice, but the brain seeking optimal solutions for survival.
On a deeper level, Jungian analytical psychology reveals the essence of the persona. To establish ourselves in society, we develop various masks to fit different roles and situations. However, when the mask becomes so powerful that you mistake it for your true self, you become the role you play, not the soul pulsating beneath the mask. Here, the collective unconscious intertwines with socio-cultural structures, providing uniform templates for these masks. Media, education, and societal expectations constantly indoctrinate you on what is normal, what is successful, what is happy, forming a powerful mechanism of social conditioning. Nietzsche's critique of herd morality resonates here. Society often praises virtues that keep the group stable and manageable: humility, obedience, mediocrity. Any individual who transcends the average or challenges convention may be seen as a threat, punishingly excluded or suppressed. This ressentiment, the resentment and malice of the weak towards the strong, of the mediocre towards the excellent, ultimately internalizes into a self-censorship mechanism, causing you to actively suppress your uniqueness
to fit into the group, to become a harmless echo. You are taught to be as good as others, not to be yourself. This is not a simple choice, but an all-encompassing, pervasive domestication from within and without.
This way of life, becoming an echo, is imperceptibly eroding the core of your being, dragging you into a bottomless crisis of meaning. When you, day after day, play a role that is not authentic, speak words that are not heartfelt, and pursue goals that do not originate from within, your inner vitality will gradually wither. The passion, curiosity, and creativity you once had will dim in the endless conformity and imitation. Your self is diluted, fragmented, and ultimately becomes blurred. You begin to feel a profound emptiness, an existential anxiety. You have striven to live up to others' expectations, but can no longer find your true self. You possess the labels approved by society, but you have lost your inner anchor. Nietzsche's warning of the last man, those who pursue comfort, ease, lack grand ambitions, and are content with mediocre lives, is the ultimate manifestation of echo existence. They no longer suffer, for they no longer have deep desires. They are no longer great, for they no longer possess a unique will. They live on a comfortable plane where everyone is equal, dissolving all excellence and difference. You think you are pursuing happiness, but this happiness is merely externally defined, a painless happiness that avoids suffering, not the self-created, challenging, and vital Dionysian ecstasy. This lack of life energy ultimately leads to the depletion of meaning. Every choice you make is merely a copy-paste of existing templates. Every breath you take is just a repetition of others' words. You are no longer the source of life, but a passive terminal that receives and transmits signals. In this state, so-called freedom is merely imprisonment in a different posture. And the true tragedy is that you may never realize you are in a cage. This is not just a personal sorrow, but a microcosm of an era's spirit. An era where echoes are the norm and uniqueness is an anomaly. So, facing this omnipresent echo, how will you find that unique, original sound? Nietzsche's answer rings out deafeningly: become who you are. This is not an easy suggestion, but an arduous task. A lifelong journey of self-creation demands that you possess an extraordinary will to power, not a desire for power over others, but an inner drive for self-life, self-creation, and self-overcoming. This first means self-overcoming. You must bravely examine and challenge the internalized social values, herd morality, and all cognitive biases that make you an echo. You need to tear off the personas that no longer serve your true self, even if it leaves you feeling exposed, vulnerable, or even rejected by the group. This is a painful process, as you will have to confront your shadow, those repressed and denied impulses, desires, and traits. But only by integrating these exiled parts of yourself can you become a complete and authentic person. Second, you need to become the legislator of your own values. In a world where God is dead and traditional moral and meaning systems have collapsed, you can no longer rely on external authorities to tell you how to live. You must bravely, even solitarily, write new laws for your life and create new meaning. This requires immense creativity and courage to embrace the eternal recurrence of your life. Would you be willing for everything you are doing now to be repeated
infinitely? This thought experiment will force you to choose the life you truly desire, not a copy custom-made by others. Ultimately, this path leads to the ideal of the Übermensch, not a literal superhuman individual, but a person who constantly transcends themselves, creates themselves, and can bear the full weight of life while giving it meaning. You are not searching for a preordained true self, but actively forging it. The ultimate insight will utterly transform your understanding of existence. You are not born human, you are becoming human. Freedom is not the freedom of choice, but the freedom of creation, creating your own meaning, your own values, your own existence. When you stop being an echo of others, you transform from a passive recipient to an active creator, from one who is shaped to one who shapes. This is an unending journey, because becoming yourself is a dynamic process, not a static destination. This means you must embrace solitude. True self-creation often entails detachment from the crowd, as your path cannot be replicated by anyone else. But it is in this solitude that you can clearly hear the deepest voice of your soul, that original sound, undisturbed by external noise. You need to live like a true master. Every choice you make is a declaration to the world. Every action you take is an embodiment of your will to life. You no longer ask, what should I do to be accepted, but what do I truly want to do? Your life is no longer an interpretation of others' texts, but an epic you personally write and personally perform. When your existence no longer depends on others' approval, when your happiness is no longer built on external applause, you will truly break free from those invisible chains and stand as the master of your own life. In that moment, you will discover that the uniqueness you sought was already within you. True life is not about blending into the current, but about surging forward, carving out your own eternity in your unique way. And this is an unending, truly philosophical journey of your own life.